evening. Let me know if you can hear me. You can hear the music in the background. Make sure you share the live. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Perfect, thank you. How was everyone's weekend? How was your Monday? Let me know. My weekend was a little quiet. Nothing crazy. Monday was very chill. It's a holiday here for us in Canada. It's Indigenous and Recognition Day, so we had a day off just to put some recognition in the Indigenous tribes here in Canada. Let me know how your weekend went, or went. Yeah, how your weekend went, and how your Monday is going so far. Hello, good evening. We have a good conversation tonight, so make sure you tune in, make sure you share it. I'll wait for some more people to come in. That's good. That's good. Good evening, good evening. Let me know, for those that are tuning in, let me know how your weekend went, how your Monday's going. I'm gonna wait a few minutes. I know it's a busy Monday today, so I'll give it about 15-20 minutes. And if I don't get people on that want to join the live, then I'm gonna cut out and try another time. So make sure you share the live. Make sure you share the live. It's a good conversation tonight. What made me want to get into Pan? Actually, my dad. I pretty much grew up in the Pan community. My dad started a band here in Edmonton, is where I'm from, and went to all the practices. He taught me a song on, I think it was a double second, and I was about 6-7 years old, and then just started playing Pan, and here I am today. How about you? How did you get into Pan? Hello, good evening. How was your weekend? How was your Monday? Hello. Okay. So you're a fan of Pan, is what I'm hearing. You enjoy the history and how it influences the culture. I love that. You learned a new song on your Pan? That's good. Remember, keep practicing. Hello, hello. Good evening. Make sure you share the live. We have a few topics. The main one is Panorama Killing Pan. That's the main topic I've been seeing online. And then another topic I've been seeing is how to get steel pan into schools to replace the recorder. So, some good topics. At some point you would like to pick up and learn how to play it. It's never too late. Never too late. If you said you had friends, go to their house and get them to teach you a song. Maybe a scale or two. Hello, good evening, good evening. Hope all is well. Welcome in, welcome in. Let me know how your weekend went. Let me know how your Monday's going. Just waiting for a few more people to join the live. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. You just learned Lucky by Jason Mars? Nice. I'll wait for a few more people. If you want to join the live, just let me know. Okay, there's some good topics. Hello, hello. You also went ahead September? Nice. That's a good song to learn. If there's anything, I might call on some people to join my live. Perfect. All right, we'll get started and see how it goes. So I see some new faces. Hello and welcome to All Things Pan. Good night, Jimmeh. I am your host, Danielle George. Our official sponsor is Pantastics 868. They have everything from tenor sticks to bass sticks. If you live in North America, message me and I will try my best to get them to you. If you live anywhere else, make sure you message Pantastics 868. They're pinned at the bottom of the page here, so you can check their website or their Instagram out and send them a DM. So for those that are new, I normally on this page we talk to panists, we talk to arrangers, tuners, builders, pan enthusiasts about all things pan. But I thought I'd switch it up this time and have an open discussion, just to talk about a lot of topics in the pan community because there's a lot to cover. So if you haven't noticed, pinned at the top of the screen, it's Panorama Killing Pan is the topic I've been seeing on Instagram. A lot of people have been sending it to me, just looking at the comments. It's been interesting to say the least. So for those that don't know, I would say they said it, that Panorama is killing Pan because a certain arranger is not going to arrange outside of Trinidad and Tobago anymore, which sparked a lot of debate on Facebook saying Panorama is like our World Cup, our Olympics. It's here to stay. If you take out Pan, you're taking away from Carnival. Pan is an event that brings people together with music and just good vibes. What was another one that I saw? There's more young people getting into Pan, so why would we get rid of it? So I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts on it. My thoughts, I kind of agree. It's an instrument that brings everyone together. Everyone around the world plays it. Panorama is like our Olympics. It's kind of bragging rights. So I just want to see where you guys stand. If anyone has any comments, you're more than welcome to comment or come on and let me know. But yeah. Everyone's quiet. No one wants to say anything. I might have to call some people in here. Let's see who's on the live. Let's see if they want to come on and give their opinion. If not, it's okay. I understand. Don't want to talk about it, I can come off and put it as a thing on my Instagram stories, and you guys can comment there. But I thought it'd be a good discussion tonight to see what how everyone feels and what they think. Hello, good evening. How are you? How was your Monday? How was your weekend? I'm just trying to get people to talk tonight. But again, like I said, if no one wants to come on, I'll be coming off and maybe I'll come on another day, because I know it's a busy Monday for everyone. Long. For those that are just joining, I pinned the question at the top of the page: is Panorama Killing Pan? And there was a discussion on Facebook about it, so I just kind of thought that'd be something to talk about tonight. See what people's thoughts are. Do they feel like Panorama is killing Pan? If so, how? Why? But yeah. No, it's not. Why don't you think Panorama is killing Pan? I gave my opinion earlier. I can give it again. My thought process is Panorama is like our Olympics, our World Cup. It's bragging rights. And also, a lot of young people are getting into Pan more than ever. And the Pan culture is something that welcomes everyone. Everyone is allowed to enjoy it, whether you play, whether you just like the music, whether you like the vibe and the environment. But yeah, I think it's growing. Rasta said, I find it actually brings out younger people. It does. I 100% agree. It gets them more into their culture, for sure. But yeah. Because you are one of those young people. I love it. What pan do you play? And how long have you been playing pan? And who do you play with? Sorry, a lot of questions. Rasta it brought me more involved with my culture and my tradition. Yes, as it should. And you learn more about yourself. Uh, King said Panorama can only king pan if we allow it. But at times, we tend to get a bit consumed in the competition itself, in your humble opinion. I agree. Rasa plays a six bass. He plays for Panache, based in Antigua. I know that band. Okay, I've probably seen you. Not there in person, but playing pan because I've seen some videos of you guys. Um, but yeah, if you let the competition consume you, yeah, it will kill it. But from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, pan is only growing, and um, more, like I said before, more young people are getting involved. Ryo said, could never. There's nothing wrong with competition. Iron sharpens iron. I agree. You're the blindfold guy. Oh, okay. I like you. I like you. If anyone has the time, watch Panache. I think I saw a few of your videos on Instagram. I can't remember what page I saw it on, but Instagram or YouTube, you might find them. Look for the bases. The bases are vibes. For those that are just joining, hello, welcome. I have a question pinned at the top. Is Panorama Killing Pan? And we're just talking about it, discussing it because it was a discussion on Facebook, I believe, last week. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think it was last week. And it was a post because someone posted that because a certain arranger made a post, I think earlier that week, just saying that he's not arranging outside of Trinidad anymore. So that's what sparked the discussion. So there's that. If there's anyone from Canada, more specifically in Toronto, Ontario area, how is Panorama down there for you guys? The only reason why I ask is because in the same comment they said there's only 5 bands competing, but I know there's a lot of bands in Toronto. So is there a reason why they're not competing, or what are your thoughts? Rasta said, because of the Panorama scene, I got in tune with the music and began arranging music. Oh, that's awesome. OJ said, we need to learn to turn off the emotions during competition and turn them off when it's over. We take it too personal sometimes, even me. I agree. It's a competition, yes. You're there to win, yes. But if you don't, that's okay. Come back again next year. Ro said, why kill the very thing that brings people together? It all starts with people's mentality. I agree. OJ, do you want to come on the live and just talk about your experiences with Panorama and how you feel? If you don't want to, it's okay. I do want to do it, yes. um, yeah, so hello, Tisha. But yeah, so people that are just joining in, I pinned the question at the top because it was you're about to start rehearsal. That's fair. Have a good rehearsal, OJ. The only reason why I posted this, for those that are just tuning in, there was a comment on Facebook saying that Panorama is killing Pan. So I saw a lot of comments on there. I think there was like over 100 comments about this. So I just wanted to see what your guys' thought process was, and if you do agree, how is Panorama killing Pan? If you don't agree, I just kind of want to see your guys' thoughts on here. Rasta said, I find Duvon did a good thing to stop arranging for foreign bands. Okay. May I ask, why do you think that's a good thing? Hello, Afropan. I was just, I know you're Canadian. I was just, I, I don't know if you can see the thing pinned at the top. Is Panorama Killing Pan. Um, Only because it was the discussion on Facebook, and I just wanted to see everyone's opinions on it because it's a good topic. And I did ask a question earlier if there's any Canadian bands or anyone from Canada, specifically Toronto, Ontario, playing Pan. Um, how many bands are there in Toronto, and why aren't they all competing? Rasa says it gives other young arrangers the opportunity to compete and develop their skills in those other countries. I agree. I agree. Ra says, I agree with you and I want to enforce your point. Okay. Do you think if Duvon or any other arranger went to other countries just to do a workshop on arranging or mentor them, do you think that would help the young arrangers coming up? Hello, hello, welcome in. How is your night going? How was your weekend? So yeah, so those that are just joining, we're just talking about the question that's pinned up at the top is Panorama Killing Pan. Rao says the older heads need to give way for the youth, and the youth needs to understand and appreciate what the forefathers did in the past. I agree. So do you think um, the younger arrangers or pan players aren't appreciating it, or do you think they need to appreciate it more? I believe that Rasa said, I believe that would help, especially considering I was one of them who gained some insight from Duvon. Okay, okay, okay. And that was to the question of him doing like him or any other arranger doing like a workshop in other countries. Hello, KJ. Those are just joining. There's a question at the top: is Panorama Killing Pan? If you don't follow on Facebook, there was a great discussion on it in the last week. Sorry, I don't want to miss anything. King said maybe foreign places should implement the same rule that some have where there are no outside arrangers. That way it makes room for the youth coming up and they can get opportunities. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Tisha says, do you mind reviewing points to the poster made with respect to Panorama Killing Pan? Yeah, I can do that. Trini Desi said, I don't think Panorama is killing Pan. Pan Trimbago is putting most of his energy into Panorama and putting in halfway assistance for most other Pan events is what's killing Pan. KJ says, I think a better question is, can we approach Pan and Panorama in a way that it doesn't kill it anymore and that it may any more that it may be already? So Tish, on Facebook, someone made a post saying Panorama is killing Pan, and the only reason why he put that is because a certain arranger made a post, I believe either the same day or a few days before, saying that he's not arranging outside of Trinidad anymore. So that sparked a discussion of because that person doesn't want to arrange outside of Trinidad, Panorama is killing Pan. But they also said that Canada is almost down to 5 pens competing. And he's like, you call that growth. So I'm just trying to see what everyone's thought process is on that because, like I mentioned earlier, Panorama is like our it's like our World Cup, our Olympics. It's a time where people come together and enjoy music, see what the arrangers are doing, see what the bands are doing, enjoying the culture, embracing the culture. So, what is the purpose of Panorama? Okay, that's a great question. Thought I missed something here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Um, So Afro said, to answer your question about bands in Canada or Toronto, bottom line is money. We all know that it isn't cheap, and it's not really worth it for some bands. Bands to continue to take part to keep it alive. Okay. KJ said, I think, oh, I don't want to miss it. Sorry. KJ said, I think part of our approach is keeping things stagnant. Okay, King says, um, let's keep in mind Panorama is a different impact everywhere too. Trinidad would be different from Grenada, London, Canada, and why? Rasta says, I personally think Bro's a little salty over the notion of the Notting Hill Panorama debunko. Okay. Okay, a lot of comments here. If anyone wants to come on the live and talk, you're more than welcome to. Tisha said, it seems as though they assumed Duvon decided not to because he was dissatisfied with Pan. I also remember some points about only 4 bands competing in NY, which is not true. Rao says, Panorama is not killing Pan. People's mindset is killing Pan. Panorama was made to celebrate within communities and a beacon of freedom and excitement. Okay. Oh, you meant to say dissatisfied with Panorama. Okay. There's a lot of things to unpack because I did want them to come on and just kind of discuss it, but it's Monday. I get it. People are busy. But I just want to see yours' opinion because in the post there was over 100 comments on it, and it was interesting to say the least. Some people said that Brooklyn Panorama is a joke now, because they said it used to be 20 bands competing and now there's only a few. They do have to keep in mind that Pan is expensive. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Or I'll see if I can tag it in my Instagram. But Pan is expensive, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. So, yeah, Rasta said I'm going to log off. Thanks for the discussion. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your evening. But yeah, it's interesting. KJ said, Panorama is to show our culture. We just need to keep on elevating everything and in and out of Panorama for Pan people, and the planet. So, KJ, how would you elevate it? In what way would you elevate it? Tish said, Brooklyn also has challenges with sorry, I can't really see that. Not sure how much that impacts the amount of bands competing. Okay. And I know a lot of bands don't have a spot to practice. So that's also an issue for some bands. So, yeah, it's just interesting. Really interesting. I'm going to see if I can see any other comments in here that I can actually read on here. Some people said it's because he wasn't victorious outside of TNT this year is why he's leaving. Some people are saying the rules need to be the same as it is in Trinidad everywhere else, which I discussed, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, about judging and all that fun stuff. So if you missed that one, you can go back onto my Instagram page and watch it, or my YouTube page and watch that. Another person said almost every ranger has been copying Duvon's style. So, I don't know. Like, when it comes to arranging, you can tell some people have picked up a few of Duvon's arrangements, but at the same time, as an arranger, you are going to pick up your favorite arranger's tendencies. You just are. That's who you're looking up to. It's just going to happen until you find your own voice. So once I feel like all the young arrangers coming up, when they find their voice, they will arrange in their own style. King says, Tish, it impacts the band big time, trust me. Spots are disappearing, prices for everything are going up, and the prize money remains the same. Bands opened on the season to try to be active. King also said it's honestly too much to typhoon. Well, come on the live and talk. You're more than welcome to come on the live and talk. Yeah, just to reiterate what King said, having a band is very expensive, and that's what people don't understand. You have to pay for rent. You have to pay for, if you're traveling, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for tuning. It can get pricey, and people don't realize that. Especially for Panorama, you're paying an arranger or paying a pan tuner to come tune all your pans, and that does not come cheap because you have to pay for the flight, pay for the hotel, their food, the tuning. It's a lot. At the same time, if you do bring a tuner, you can share the cost with other bands. So that can also help with the other smaller bands that are around the country. KJ says, introduce, establish, and maintain a collaboration way of thinking and working together versus a competitive meditation and attitude in a majority. Okay. And that was to the earlier comment. Is that correct? You could do that, but collaborating how? Like, what is your thought process on that? Hello, good evening, good evening. If you're just tuning in, we're just talking about is Panorama Killing Pan. Oh gosh. Yeah, only because it was a discussion on Facebook and there was over 100 comments on that caption, on that comment. So I just thought, let's come on here and see if everyone's thinking the same or if people have different opinions. But right now, I think we're all on the same page. Hello, hello. If anyone wants to talk more about it, you're more welcome to come on the live and discuss and let me know your opinion. But what does Jimmeh the boss think? I don't even know if he's still on. Oh, he is on. I can't invite him, so I know he's busy. But yeah, if anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome to. I already said my opinion. I just want to see what your guys' thoughts are. I read a few comments on Facebook. There's another comment here. Owning a pan is too expensive. Some pans need sponsorships. How does a band get sponsorship? Pan Dynamicx said, Miz says, Panorama isn't killing pans, lack of funding is. That goes with the comment I said. So a lot of bands need sponsorships. So how do those bands get those sponsorships or funding or, depending on where you live, grants? Because I know, especially here in Canada, maybe in the US, a lot of grants do help arts. So if whoever is throwing a panorama, I'm sure they can apply for a grant and help pay or help put that money into the prize money, or I don't know. I don't don't know. It's a little tricky because I have heard the I have heard a lot of comments saying that everything's getting expensive, but the prize money is still the same as it was 20, 30 years ago. So how do we get them to raise the prize money? Do you hold your own panorama and do it without the carnival? How do we get around it to get the prize money where it needs to be? King says, "You think so?" Jimmeh says, I'm here listening and watching some good opinions already. There are some great opinions, for sure. Um, I want to hear what Pan Dynamicx has to say for real with the popcorn emoji. So Pan Dynamicx, you need some thoughts. Want to come? I know you guys are busy. It's a busy Monday. I know. Um, but yeah, if Pan Dynamicx wants to come on the live real quick just to share their opinion, you're more than welcome to. Miss says prize money. UK can't relate. Oh, okay. So in UK, you guys don't get prize money. It's more of a it's more of a can't think of the word right now. But yeah. Jimmeh said I find Pan Dynamicx should come on the live. Jimmy's calling you guys out. So there's another comment on Facebook says, "We as Pan players can't wait for Panorama. It's what drive us. It's what drives us. But the system is to blame. Unfair judging is mashing up the thing." Bragging rights. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Couldn't think. The words was not coming to my head. T-Word Job says, "I find so too." All right. So Pan Dynamicx, do I need to invite you to the live? Let's see. Let's see what I can do here. What are your guys' thoughts? I know for Panorama, it's like I said, it's our World Cup, it's our Olympics, it's our time to shine. So Panorama brings out the younger people, brings out older people, it brings out everyone. So I personally don't think Panorama's killing Pan. I think I don't want to sound rude. Some of the people inside of the Pan community that that are putting a lot of negativity in the Pan community instead of uplifting a lot of the young people coming up that want to arrange, that want to become tuners, although the tuners have been very supportive. But yeah, composers can't. It's something we can't keep to ourselves. It's something that that we have to be able to open up and share. Like for me, I love talking about Pan to anyone that asks. If you want to learn how to arrange, I'm learning myself, but I will teach you what I know, even though I'm still learning, or the history, or how to play it. That is so that's my passion. Like I would never gatekeep, because it's when you gatekeep, you're killing Pan. Just in the gist of it, you're killing Pan for gatekeeping. Tisha asks, what are the pipelines for arrangers and developing their talent? That's another thing. You have to become an arranger, I think you have to kind of look for it. You have to reach out to the arrangers that are out there and see if they would want to mentor you. And go from there. I don't know if it worked. Let me see. Sorry, I might have to invite you. See if that works. Just said facts regarding gatekeeping. Yeah, I find there's a lot of people in the Pan community, especially, that are gatekeeping, and it's something that doesn't need to happen. we all should be open and willing to help each other out, support each other, all of that fun stuff. So yeah. Hello.
Hi,
How
Daniel.
are you?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. I'm
That's
just trying to
good.
get the phone
That's okay. You're
uh,
good. You're good there.
nice and settled.
You're
So, how you
good.
doing?
I'm good. How are you? I know
Yeah,
you're busy.
yeah, busy. Just jumping in for like probably a couple minutes, but
Yeah, no worries.
been listening for the little past while there, so it's crazy. I I don't think there's any right answer to all those questions, but it's a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sorry. For those that don't know, this is Rohan from Dynamicx in Calgary, Alberta. Now you can go.
okay, for sure. So yeah. So what's the one of the big questions that's been happening? There's Panorama Killing Pan, right? That was the
Hmm.
main thing.
Yeah.
And my answer would be no,
Okay.
but that's just my personal feeling because Panorama been there for how many years? Ever since day one, and Pan has grown from there. If you look at
Mm-hmm.
the graph, where we are right now is light years from where we came from. So if Panorama was killing Pan, then Pan would not be around.
Right.
Panorama probably slowed down the growth of Pan, but that's how I look at it instead of just using that bland statement. Panorama is killing Pan is just
Mm-hmm.
not the right statement to use.
I
So
agree.
so what do you think?
Like I said earlier, Panorama for us is like our World Cup, our Olympics, our way of um, why can't I think of the word right now? Of um, someone said it earlier. Bragging rights.
Right.
It's our way of showing, just like back in the day, we're the best band. We're here. So
But
I feel like
where did the
Panorama
question come from? All of a sudden, Panama's killing
it
Pan. Why?
was oh, okay. So it was a comment in Facebook that someone made because a certain arranger, some of you know, those who
Right.
know, made a comment either that same day or a few days earlier saying that he's not arranging for bands outside of Trinidad.
Right.
And then that same statement, they said in Toronto, there's only 5 bands that compete.
Right.
So he was like, where's the growth? So that's the reason. And I saw a lot of comments in there. I was just kind of intrigued in what people were saying. There was a lot of Panorama is killing Pan, and there was a lot of Panorama is not. It brings youth players together, brings your rangers in the mix, bands together, the culture together. So I just thought it would be an interesting topic for this platform to see what everyone thought. But to answer your question, like I said, Panorama is our way of having bragging rights and to have the youth on a big stage showing what they can do.
Yeah.
So I don't think Panorama's killing Pan. I think we need to elevate it a bit, which a lot of people have mentioned in the comments. So if there's a way that we can grow it not only in Trinidad but in Canada, in the States, and other places around the world, I mean, why not?
Right. Right. No, I think Panama contribute to the growth of Pan
Hmm.
100%. So
Yeah.
and it's always been so. We just don't want people to think that I personally don't like competitions for personal reasons.
Hmm.
Growing up in Pan ever since I was 10 or 11 years old.
Hmm.
My first panorama at 11 years old is probably one of the hardest thing that ever happened because obviously I can't remember. No, my band won Panorama. I think where I had a solo competition and I came second in that solo competition, so I lost. But that's the I felt pretty bad that I put in all that work for that competition and I lost the competition. So just the way I felt, I didn't like that.
Right.
And then the
Right.
year after, I did the competition again, and I won. But then I felt bad for the person who lost because I knew how I felt. So
Right.
ever since after that, I just never the one to really like competition. But I played over 10 panoramas, and it is a good feeling to win,
Mm-hmm.
to win. But going to the topic of Panama Killing Pan, I feel if everybody has an even playing field, it'll be a lot better
Mm-hmm.
to accept. You know, you have, I'll use Trinidad for example. You have renegades who can probably, bring the prime minister on stage, or land. I was talking to Rick earlier. You can land a helicopter on the stage if they wanted to because they have the money to do it.
Right.
Versus other bands can't even afford to tune the bands, but yet there
Yeah.
is a competition within those two bands. You can say, hey, well, that band can step their game up. Uh, they just can't just go get money from anywhere, right? So I
Yeah.
feel if they put something in place where each band, when it comes to presentation, has an even playing field. It's already not an even playing field with the arrangers
Right.
because the amount of effort Duvon had put in, um, or Andrew White has put in, going to school and learning all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just dismiss that. But for the other part, the other stuff of it, like the presentation part of it, I think it should be an even playing field where they all have a equal amount of funding and they get to put it to the presentation that they want to put it in. So if Renegade says, hey, I have $20,000 to land a helicopter in front of the band at the end,
Mm-hmm.
but they want to use all the money towards that, that's good.
Yeah.
And then the other band says, hey, I use my $20,000 into fireworks, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and but everybody had the same amount of funding going in,
Right.
and you get to put it wherever you want and know. But not just one band has everything at all,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other band has zero because they can afford it. Well, then it's already not a competition. You might as well just crown Renegades and just walk away. Or
Right.
just just crown the big five here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then walk away. What's the point? The smaller bands even taking part if they don't have a fighting chance. You
Right.
know, I'm always, when I watch basketball or any sports, I'm always rooting for the underdog. Just because it's nice to see somebody who fought from the bottom and come up and can win.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's impossible, what do you do, right?
Right.
So that's one thing in Panorama I think can change is that try to get it as an even playing field as possible for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to have that chance of bringing
Right.
home that trophy.
Right.
That's just one part of how not to kill Panorama. Or lots
Mm-hmm.
of bands started. I mean thousands. I can't even start calling names who started 2 years and then liquidated, just sold the pants because they could not even get a sponsor, could not even, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the, have the funding to end the panorama, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's killing panorama, killing panorama, killing pan, right? Those are, is politics.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Panorama. It does come with politics, but with all the other bands, like the smaller bands, don't you think that there should be some way where they can get a sponsor or find or get help from, let's say, Renegades or All Stars to be like, hey, we need a sponsor. How did you guys come about it?
Well, yeah, that's a conversation that should be had, but
Mm-hmm.
every every band don't have that connection or the people in place that can help them to get those questions answered, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if one band has somebody working in a bank, a lot of time the sponsors are usually connected to some player in the band. A lot of
Okay.
times it's like who knows who. You know how that works, right? It's
Right.
like, hey, I know the manager of this band actually works in a phone company or or a bank or insurance company, and they say, hey, I play in your band, but I'm also a manager in RBC Bank or whatever bank it
Mm-hmm.
is, and figure out how we could get us sponsored by the band. It makes it easy.
Right.
But a no-name band with no connections at all sends letters in. It's like it's really hard for the company to just say, hey, I'm going to sponsor you.
Right.
They can get the sponsorship, but it's just a little bit harder. It's a
Right.
harder road to travel, yeah.
So how are bands sponsored in Grenada, or are they self-funded? How does that work?
Yeah, majority of them are sponsored, but there are some that's not sponsored too as well. I can't tell you why they're not sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
It could be for the exact same reasons, but
Right.
I've been in Angel Haps in Grenada and always been sponsored, and one of the
Okay.
top sponsored bands by a bank, right? Hence, we won the most panoramas.
Right.
We always had immaculate presentation in Panorama.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest bands, the same thing as you have in Trinidad.
Right.
Exactly, you have more money to put out there. So when you can wow the judges and the crowd
Mm-hmm.
because of what your presentation, right?
Right.
And you can hire the best tuner. You can pay the best arranger. It's all come down to money. It just comes down to
Mm-hmm.
dollars and cents. So if you don't have the funding, you can't get the best. And if you don't have the best, you're probably behind in the race.
Right. How many bands are in Grenada? Because the only reason I'm asking that is, do you think they can come together and come up with a plan to help the smaller bands that can't find a sponsor or money to get a tuner or an arranger?
I think there's about 78 bands in Grenada at the moment.
Okay.
When I was playing, it was 12 and 13, so you see it's a decline, right? So if you
Yeah.
go anywhere in the country, it'd be like, oh yeah, remember shit, there was 12 bands or 13 bands, and then now it's only 7 or 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but for the bands to come together to have that conversation, everybody have to be like-minded and agree to just sit down in a room and have that conversation, um,
Mm-hmm.
and and want the best for every band and want the best for the culture, not just, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey, I just
Yeah.
want to win. Well, what if one band show up in Panorama?
Right.
What does that look like?
Exactly.
You know, who are you
Yeah.
competing against? You
Yeah.
know, like you should want to see more bands, so you should push for more bands, to show up. Even when, we started Pan Dynamicx here, and other people ask, hey, should there be other bands? I'm just, anybody that wants to start a band, I'm pushing them to, hey, try to get that going because I want to see the culture grow.
Mm-hmm.
And if the smaller pan, I think the guy who makes our pan, he did tell me in Toronto, the they used to have lots of bands in Panorama. Now it's about half, and it's even less than half.
Yeah.
And that's that, right?
Yeah.
That's it'd be nice to have lots of bands to compete against.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely be in the best interest to sit down and figure out, hey, if you don't have a sponsor, how can I assist you in getting a sponsor? Because we know people who knows people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have, we already have a sponsor, but we have other companies coming to us to try to sponsor us. We may maybe have a conversation and explain to that other sponsor, hey, it'd be nice if you could sponsor a less fortunate band, just
Mm-hmm.
to contribute in the growth of culture,
Yeah.
right?
Tisha has a comment. I feel like there was a big push in Grenada Panorama to request sponsorship.
Feel like, sorry?
There was a big push in Grenada's Panorama to push sponsorship.
Well, but that would be nice to push sponsorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want every band to be sponsored because then you have the funding or the access to funding to make sure that the logistics of running, being in Panama
Mm-hmm.
can happen, right? You
Yeah.
know, every band should be sponsored.
It'd be nice.
Like, I mean, it's not the way it is, but if there's a band who's not sponsored going on their own dime, it's like what can then now they're gonna have a T-shirt, they're gonna have an arranger, maybe get the pants tuned, but what else can they do? How much can they put in presentation? When presentation has points that's mixed, you know what I mean? There's bands that won by 1 point.
Yeah.
You won by 1 point. With that 1 point could have, you had better music, you had better arrangement, you had everything else, but that 1 point got lost because your presentation was not there.
Mhm.
Mr. Jimmeh, what's going on?
Listen, good night, everybody. Good night, good
I
night.
was just about to call you
Don't
out,
worry,
sir.
I hate the army done send out the message. The army done send out the message.
I was going to call you, like, Mr. Jimmeh.
Yeah, man, big up yourself, Sir Rohan. Big up yourself, Danny. Big up
Yeah,
everybody. Good night,
Um,
good night. Everybody good?
yeah, everyone's good.
yeah.
I just wanted to make a comment here from Ricardo. Tisha just said, or Ricardo saying at Tish, it's always been a struggle maintaining sponsorship. In the last 20 years, the 5 largest bands in Grenada have gone through sponsorship challenges. So
Okay.
I feel like sponsorship is just a huge thing. And then Tisha said, during the presentations before the bands played, the band said if they were sponsored or not, and the ones who weren't sponsored were requesting help. I felt it was intentional. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Bands need sponsorship. They need
Hmm.
sponsorship because whereas the money's coming from, it's
Yeah,
like there's only so much gigs that a band could do to grow funds throughout the year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
true.
As I said, we grew up in Pan, so we know it's everything. Whereas maintaining the pans, having a place to practice, making sure the pans are safe, painting
Very true.
them. Then you get the panorama. I don't know of any arranger that comes for free. I don't know one. Every
Yeah.
band pays an arranger, whether you win or you lose, your arranger gets paid, right?
Hmm.
And and then you're looking at trucking, you're looking at uniform. It's just never ending down that rabbit hole of, of finances. So
All right.
I think every band should get a little bit of sponsorship to help buffer those costs for Pan.
Hmm. Yeah. Tisha just